Well, early voting has begun, and Stephen Richer, you have said that the 2020 election was probably the most scrutinized election, and certainly in Arizona history, maybe beyond that. Do you have concerns, though, as we look ahead to November 5th?
Well, look, we always have concerns because it's a lot of human beings doing a lot of things, and we're going to have over 2 million voters in Maricopa County alone. But I think we're very well prepared. I think the primary went very well. I think the presidential preference election before that went very well. Over 1.9 million mail ballot packets have already gone out. We had early voting yesterday. The board did a great job with getting those sites up and running. They already had over 2,000 people show up. And so we're off to the races, feeling good, but we know that it's a long run.
Let me ask you, with all the mistrust and misinformation that's out there, how daunting is it for someone in your position to face an election, especially now in this climate?
Well, for better or for worse, we've been in it for 4 years now. If anything, it feels like Groundhog Day, where I wake up and I keep having the same argument about dominion. And argument's the wrong word because we hope to offer information. We hope to talk about stuff like a bipartisan hand count audit of the tabulated results after the election. And we hope to keep getting that information out there. But it does feel like we're having a lot of the same conversations. My hope for Arizona is that we don't keep doing this for the next 4 years, that we talk about other stuff that's very important to our state.
And then you factor in the recent situation that was no fault of yours or Adrian Fontes with the MVD. Over 200,000 people that may or may not be eligible to vote. Depending on the outcome of the election, how concerned are you about repercussions going forward after November 5th?
Yeah, so I think it's important to note that all of those people have been in Arizona since before 1997. They all attested that they are United States citizens. But you're right, they don't have documented proof of citizenship on file like we had previously thought, but owing to something that happened in 2004 had gone undiscovered. That's why Secretary Fontes and I thought it was so important to get that issue in front of the Arizona Supreme Court before the election so we could have crystal clear instructions on exactly how to handle that, just in case, hypothetically, somebody should say something after the election.
But do you foresee, if you look in your crystal ball, if a Republican were to lose in this election, whether it's Donald Trump or Kari Lake, that there would be lawsuits based on that?
Well, the Republican Party actually wanted exactly what happened, and so they filed an amicus brief, the Republican Party of Arizona, on the winning side in this legal dispute. So it would be a bit rich, but, you know, people are going to file lawsuits. I don't know that this will be the lawsuit that will get a lot of legs, but there's a lot of good election law attorneys out here, and I'm sure that they will dissect everything. And the good election law attorneys will only file lawsuits where they think that they maybe have something and that, you know, it's within the margin of something that they can change or can have an impact on the election. Some of the less scrupulous attorneys will just say, let's throw everything at the wall and hope something sticks.
On 60 Minutes this week, you said you've become more cynical about politics.
Yes.
And I don't blame you. But I'm wondering, is it because of the rhetoric that's out there? Is it the politics, the candidates, the deeply fractured parties we see, or is it all of the above?
I have had so many people look me in the eye in private and say, I know the 2020 election wasn't stolen. And then go out and say the exact opposite thing in public. And just because of where the political winds were blowing, they felt it was necessary to do that. I've been surprised at the lack of accountability for actions such as that. And that has made me highly cynical, where I thought people had lines in the sand. People had principles they wouldn't violate. But for many people, and more people than I maybe realized, it's just about, what do I need to say to get to the next spot?
You probably watched the Senate debate last night. I'm assuming you have backed Ruben Gallego.
No, I haven't said anything about either of the candidates. I did watch the debate, and I wasn't really weighing in until Ms. Lake continued to make false statements about the election. And so really my interest in the debate was specific to that. And it's just frustrating to me that this is somebody who is either lying to the courts or lying to the Arizona public. And so when do I stick my neck out? I stick my neck out when people lie about our election systems or lie about me, because I'm tired of bullies. I'm tired of people who won't look facts in the face, and I'm tired of people who disrespect our judicial system, and she's doing all that.
You have to have a thick skin to be in your seat. I'm wondering, as you leave, the victim of being primaried out because you stood up for what you believed in, how this whole thing has changed you.
Well, I hope I can recharacterize that. I've stood up for what is absolute fact. Not just what I believe in, but what is fact. And I think that's a real, that saddens me greatly, that we are no longer sharing facts. I mean, we can debate about, does the minimum wage have an impact on unemployment? And as a libertarian-minded person, I would say, you know, it sends unemployment up. And that debate's been going on for 80 years. But now we're basically having a debate over whether Devin Booker scored 27 points last night.
When he scored 27 points
When he scored 27
yeah.
points. I mean, this is a tested, documented, studied process, and there should be no doubt in our mind. And yet we have people within my political party who are going out and saying, you know what, I'm getting instructions to say the sky's not blue, and so I'm going to say the sky's not blue. And unfortunately, Kari Lake is one of the ringleaders of that movement.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you so much.